Hey cutie, we're gonna be exposing VRChat stereotypes. And I know you hate to hear it, but you probably fall into one of these. Number 10, the simp. This curious creature can be found in every corner of VRChat, worshipping at the altar of his chosen Egirl. He's the ultimate nice guy, always ready with a compliment or a heart-eyed emoji, sometimes several. He tends to lack social awareness and doesn't understand personal space. He spends all of his money on the latest avatars, PC, and VR trackers just to impress his beloved Egirl. But despite all of his efforts, the simp is often left with nothing but a broken heart and an empty wallet. All he can do is sit and watch the virtual love of his life make out with a virtual e-boy. If this is you, my heart goes out to you, and maybe we need to work on those mummy issues. Next, we move on to the serial dater. This person hops from one virtual relationship to the next. If this isn't you, then you've definitely been a victim to a serial dater. Within 1 week, they've already been in 5 relationships, and it almost always ends in disaster and heartbreak. They use VRChat like Tinder, swiping left and right based on how attractive an avatar is. They're the ultimate commitment phobe and treat dating like a sport, racking up points with each successful conquest. So if you receive a Discord message from them, my only advice is to block them, or you might just end up another notch on their virtual bedpost. If this is you, please don't slide into my DMs. Next, we move on to the Egirl. The infamous Egirl. You've seen her everywhere in VRChat. There's thousands of them. She's the first one to whip out the camera to take a group selfie. She's the first one to laugh at a furry, and she usually only surrounds herself with older males. She claims to be one of the boys and is always surrounded by a legion of simps and admirers who are all begging for her attention. But don't be fooled by her sweet and innocent exterior. You too might fall under her spell and never escape. If you're an Egirl, then honestly, teach me your ways. I'm lonely over here. Alright, next is a child. Usually disguised under the infamous green brush avatar. They're either spawns of the devil wreaking havoc and causing chaos, or they're cute little munchkins who just want to play. If you can ignore the high-pitched squeaky tone that's kinda similar to fingernails on a chalkboard, you'll have a blast because we can't help but smile when they ask to play Among Us VR for the 10 billionth time. So if this is you, here's some advice. If an old man with a raspy voice asks you to join his private world, block him immediately. Next is the oldies. These people are split into 2 categories. First are trusted users, who've been on VRChat since the very beginning and are probably sick to death of the Ugandan knuckle jokes. And the second is your typical 50-something-year-old that has trouble hearing and is just simply mesmerized by this alien technology. Either way, both of these groups have one thing in common. They don't tolerate bad behavior. One wrong move and you're blocked. So if this is you, please don't block me. Next is the constant blockers. These are people, similar to the oldies, who will block you just because they can. Kinda reminds me of that one meme actually.
Blocker, 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 blocker.
You tell a bad joke? Block. You change your avatar to something unattractive? Block. You sneeze in their face? Block. One wrong step and they're instantly hitting the block button. And now you're stood there watching your friend have a conversation with nobody and are missing half of the context. So if you're a constant blocker, I think you have some deep hidden anger issues that we need to work on. Next is the rager. You can usually hear these people from the other side of the world. You can almost see the steam coming out of their ears as they scream. Sometimes you don't even see it coming. 1 minute you're having a peaceful conversation about cucumbers. The next thing you know, they turn bright red, bend you over, and start to ram one up your ass. But hey, at least they're passionate, right? Next up is the nerd. This person is the clumsiest person you'll ever meet. They always drop items, bump into walls, and just fall over. But despite that, they are insanely smart. They can go on and on talking about quantum physics and some insane mathematical equation that you can barely comprehend. But the minute a female walks into the room, they instantly go mute. Not an active brain cell in sight. They have a hard time talking, looking, or even interacting with women, both virtual and real. So if this is you, just know that I would happily spend hours listening to you talk about quantum physics. Well, as long as you can do my math homework in exchange. Next is the couples. We've all seen these people in VRChat. They're usually sat in front of a mirror, cuddling or patting each other on their heads. They also tend to have matching avatars. They don't refer to each other by their usernames and usually have cute little nicknames for each other like Boo Boo or Honey Monster. If you ever approach them, they'll tell you how much they love each other, their plans to fly across the globe to meet each other, their marriage plans, how many babies they're gonna have, and probably even the names of their future babies. On the surface, it seems like they've gotten it all worked out, but we all know behind closed doors, they're both trapped in a toxic relationship where they're constantly having heated arguments over Discord. Also, 99% of VRChat drama stems from these types of people. So if this isn't you, then you've definitely been sucked into drama involving these types of people. But if this is you, maybe we need to keep the wedding plans until you've been dating for at least 1 week. Alright, last but definitely not least, we're gonna go deep into the VRChat hole and expose the most hidden stereotype there is. And you already know what it is. You've seen the thumbnail and clicked on this video, you little perv. Yes, it's the ERPers, the most known yet secretive stereotype on VRChat. If you don't know what ERP is, then I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to destroy your innocence. It's basically doing the deed, but virtually. Yeah, people do it in VRChat, and then they brag about their virtual body counts too. And honestly, do whatever you want, but please just keep it away from the public worlds and minors. That's all I ask. If you're two consenting adults and you're in a private world, then honestly, have at it. And feel free to use the virtual props too, like this pen. You can use your imagination. Anyway, talking about busting a nut in VRChat, I busted a nut. Sorry, I meant myths. I busted myths in VRChat and revealed some pretty interesting things. Go ahead and check it out. I love you, Key.